Well, dear students, welcome to lecture number 9. Now, you know that it's been a long time since I made the last video or the last lecture. And in those videos, at the beginning, I talked about the main properties of language. And after that, we started a new chapter related to the word formation processes. Now, today, I'll do my best, God willing, of course, to finish this chapter, which talks about how languages increase their words. Right. We took a number of these processes. Today I'm going to finish these processes. And before I start talking about the last word formation process, I'd like to say something concerning acronyms. ACRONYMS. You see, what about acronyms? You see, in acronyms, sometimes, for example, USA. Now here, United States of America. So we took the U, and we took the initial letter, and we took S from state, then we took America. So we have USA. Now the point is, what is the point is? The point is, now here, acronyms, we pronounce them as separate letters. We pronounce them as separate letters. So I say, yeah, U, S, A. Capital. Also UN. So now I have a new word, this new word, United States of America. Instead of saying United States of America, I took from the initial letters of the word or of this noun or name, United States of America, the name of a country, the superpower, America. I took just the initial letter of the word United, and the initial letter of the word States, and the initial letter of the word America, and then I got USA, so a new word. Now I have added a new word to English, that is by taking the initial letters of the word, of the name United States of America. Also, United Nations, united, see the word United Nations, المتحدة. I took U from United, then I took N from Nations, then I created a new word that is UN. My point concerning acronyms is that here we pronounce this word as separate letters. United Nations, okay? United Nations. United word nations is another word. I took the U from United and they took N from nations. Then I got a new word that is UN. So now here the word I pronounce it as separate letter. The point which I want to talk about is that sometimes you write the word not in capital letters, you write it in small letter, like the word radar or the word laser. These radar, R-A-D-A-R, each letter stands for what? Stands for a word. Now let's see what laser stands for L, he says light, A, amplification, S, stimulated, emission, and R, radiation. Okay, here I have written the word laser in small letter. I pronounce it as a word here. This is an acronym, but I pronounce it as a word. Now, not like United Nations, UN, I pronounce them as separate letter. No, I pronounce them here as separate word, as a word as a whole, just like any word. When the sounds are put together, okay, not as in UN. Now the point last time which was raised is that why do we write them, for example, here in a small letter, and here we write it in write it here UN, we write it in capital letters? Why? Why do you do this? You see, there is a point here. It's a very good point. Take, for example, WAR. Women against, as he says here, women against, against rape. Women against rape. نساء ضد الاغتصاب. Now, why do we write what war here in capital letter? Why don't we write it like laser? This is a very good point here. The point is that war, WAR. Now, when you write it in a small letter, you are going to mix it with the word war, al-harb, or fight. Okay, so in order, because there is a word in English which is WAR, we have war, war, fight, qital. In order not to mix between this WAR, which stands for women against rape, and war as another word, in order not to confuse the two things together, now I put this in capital letter. So now we put it in capital letter in order not to be mixed with another word with the same spelling. Okay, right. So this is the point. The point is this, that we write these in capital letters. When we do this, we write it in capital letters in order to distinguish it from another word which has what? The same spelling. Okay, this is the reason beyond writing WAR with capital letter rather than small letter. Okay, I think there is another word, perhaps. Right. So, I mean, I don't want to talk about this anymore. This is enough to understand the point that why do we write this in capital letter? We write it in capital letter in order to mix, in order not to be mixed with another word with the same spelling. Right. Okay. So now see here that we took W from women against AR, right? I have added a new word into English. What is it? War. War. Yeah, there is a World Health Organization. This is another example. This is a very good example. Now, why do we write WHO in capital letter, not in a small letter? Because there is another word, that is WHO. In order not to mix the two things together, I write it in capital letters. This is a very good point. Right? In Arabic, of course, we don't have this because we don't have small letter, capital letter. But in English, because you see, we have capital letter, we have small letters, we have to care for these words. I mean, when you make a new word from the initial letters, you have to care for this in order not to mix things together. Okay, this is concerning what? Acronyms. Now, let me move to another point, another process. This process is called derivation. But derivation, I'm not going to talk about it now. I'll skip it. I'll talk about what we call double processes, multiple processes, multiple processes. Sorry. Multiple processes. Multiple. What does that mean, multiple processes? Now here, we are not adding a new process. Here we are not, we are not having, or we do not have a new word formation process, as in acronym, as in coinage, as in clipping, as in blending, as in compounding, as in backformation, as in conversion. Here we have in multiple processes we are going to use two processes. The word multiple معناتها متعدد. وعندنا احنا multiple MCQ هذا يعني MCQ هذا multiple choice questions، سؤال متعدد الاختيارات. فهذا multiple معناه متعدد العمليات. What does that mean? This means that the word produced by here under this is not caused, is not created, is not made by one process, as in the case of the processes which I have just mentioned. No, here we have two processes. Here we have two processes, more than one process. That's why we call it multiple. And then here we have processes. Here you see this is plural, multiple processes, more than one process. Okay, let's take an example. The example, I take, for example, snow, and then ball, snowball. We have snow, we have ball. Okay, now I am going to combine them into snowball. This is compounding, how they want to process. And then when this is a noun, when I use this as a verb, when I use it as a verb, now we are going to create. The point is, you see, snowball is the result of the process called compounding, because we have snow, then we have ball, then we have, through the process called compounding, we have snowball. Okay, snowball in Arabic called كرة الثلج. كرة الثلج. It's a ball. It's made of what? Of snow, snowball. Now what about its snowball? Now let's take, for example, here, let's take a sentence. The sentence is, well, right, problems with the project. Problem with the project have snowballed, have snowballed. Right. Now, here this word snowball, already I said it was snow, single word, ball as a single word also. Now we have joined them, we have combined them through the process called compounding, C-O-M-P-O-U-N-D-I-N-G, compounding. And then here in this sentence, now here it's a noun, correct thing. But here I have used it as what? As a verb, snowball, verb. When I say problems with the project have snowball, يعني المشاكل مشاكل مع المشروع أو بالمشروع، المشروع هذا يعني there is a project here, مشروع, and they want to do something, they call it project. Problems with the project, they're talking about a particular project, have snowball. Snowball here means increased. Decreased. You know that snowball, when you throw it on the snow, it's going, when it is rolling, it is going to get larger and larger. Okay, so now when we say problems with the project have snowballed, it means problems with the project have increased. So now here we have, first of all, we have the compounding process, and then what do we have here? We have what we call back formation. Sorry, not back formation, but conversion. C-O-N-V-E-R-S-I-O. Conversion. What is conversion? Now we have changed the word class snowball, which is a noun. There's a noun here. Noun. We have changed it into verb. So how many processes have we used in order to produce snowball as a verb? Two processes. First of all, we have compounding. We join them together, give me snowball as a noun. Then I have changed the word class, or the part of a speech or the function of the word snowball from a noun into a verb. Gave me what here? A verb, snowball, which means increased. Okay, right. This is a very nice example, very clear example that shows you, or which shows that now there are some words that are produced not by one process, but by means of what? More than one process, as here. Another example, I don't want to talk more about this. Let's take another example. The word Delhi. It's already, this word Delhi is the result of two processes. The result of two processes. What are these two processes? First of all, it is borrowed. Borrowed from what? From German, as he says. He says, the term Delhi seems to have become a common American English expression via process of first borrowing what? Delicatessen. Delhi, okay, C-A-T-E-S, okay, E-S-E, delicatessen. The stress is here. Tissen. This is a German, from German, as he says here, from German. So Delhi is already delicatessen. It means a shop that sells things. One of the meanings, of course, of the word delicatessen is a shop that sells meat or cheese from other countries. Yani they are imported. Okay, and then what happens to the word? Then we have what we call clipping here. We clip we clip the word delicatessen into deli. So now deli is already borrowed from German, which is in the form of delicatessen, and then what do? We clip the word, we cut the word, we reduce the word into by a process called the clipping, as we have professor, prof, examination, exam, laboratory, lab, etc. It gave me what? Deli. So this is another example. This is also another example. Here we have two processes. The word created, the word made into the borrowing into language. It is it is not made by one process as we witnessed in the X processes. No, here we have two processes. That's why we call it multiple process. So borrowing, we already have it one, okay? Clipping, we have it individually. These two, borrowing and clipping, we talked about them individually. Here, no, we are talking about them together. These two processes, both borrowing and clipping, are what they both played a role. They are both used. They are both used in order to give me the word what? Deli. Okay, so this is what we mean by multiple processes. I'm not adding a new process here. All what I am doing here is that I use two processes together. As for example in snowball, first of all we have snow individually, we have ball individually, and then we join them through the process called compounding. We have snowball, and then snowball as a noun. I changed the word class from noun to verb, as in the example problems with the project have snowball, have increased. So the word snowball, this is snowball as a verb, is the result of two processes. First of all, compounding, second what? Conversion. Similarly, the word deli is also the result of two processes. First of all, this is of German word, it's borrowed from German, but here, what? German. Here, by the way, there is no translation. We do not translate here because this is not loan translation, this is borrowing. And then the word delicatessen, it's difficult, so they have clipped the word into deli. We have created a new word, just like we created the word prof from professor. This is what we mean by multiple processes. Right, and now I hope that I have been clear, and I apologize for this cut in the video that you are going to see because of electricity. I didn't expect electricity to be cut off, but you know, what can we do? Now, the last process, which is called derivation, and this process, derivation, that I'm going to talk about in a minute, it is related to chapter 6 here, which is with the title morphology here, chapter 6, okay. So I'm going to leave this, I'm going to rub it out, okay, in order to start talking about a new process. And this process is related to what? To chapter 6, because the title of chapter 6 is morphology. So now, derivation. The last word formation process, derivation. In derivation as a word formation process, as I said just now, that it is related to chapter 6. Chapter 6. What is chapter 6? Chapter 6, here, the title is Morphology. Logy, see. هذه الأو مثل phonology. هذه هاي phone, هاي ology. شوف. They use O in order to separate between two morphemes. Just like morphology. هو هذه. This is. But this is the O in order to separate. They add it between two morphemes. Yeah. Similarly, phonology. Similarly, psychology. See the O here. See a psych. Okay. Anyhow, now what do we have in derivation? Right. Derivation is a process in which, and what do we do here? We made new words by adding bits or elements to the word we add. You remember that in the processes that we discussed, only in hypocorism we add either Y or IE. You remember, for example, Barbie, Telly, okay? We said that it's a long word. We shrink the word, we reduce the word into one syllable, and then we add IE or Y in hypocorism. In the other processes, we do not add. We add nothing to the word. Now, in derivation, it is, he says, by far, when it is compared with the other processes, it is very common in English. Right. What does he say here? Now, in our list so far, our list means word formation process. We have not dealt with what is by far the most common word formation process. The most common word formation process to be found in the production of new English words. Right. Now this process is called derivation. Now what do we call it derivation? And it is accomplished by means of a large number of small bits, قطع صغيرة, bits يعني قطع صغيرة, bits of شنو? Of the English language, bits of the English language. هذه البيتس, okay, I'll talk about it. Of the English language that are not usually given separate listings in dictionary. Yani, what does that mean? That are not given a separate, that are not usually given a separate listing in the dictionary. Yani, when I go to the word bits, هذه plural يعني I do not find it in the list. Then I say مثلا skip, scene, okay, هذه كلها separate listing. يعني as a list we have separate listing, يعني word one by one, okay, one after the other. We have word followed by another word, just like a list. Here we do not have list of these bits. We do not have them. Okay, yes. Usually we do not have. Maybe there are, but he said usually. Right. Now what do we call these bits? Having bits. And what about these bits? These bits, having bits. The word which is used to, instead of to be more technical, we use the word, they are called affixes. affixes معناتها هذه القطع الصغيرة أو الزيادات. اوكي، يعني bits هي bits قطع صغيرة أو زيادات. هذه we add them to words in order to create new words. Like what, for example? لاحظ UN. What else? This. We have we have FUL. Double A. هو كاتب double one L. It has to be okay. We have also LESS. We have also ISH. Also we have NESS. NESS. Now, here there is something. What is it? Now, this is a hyphen, and this is a hyphen. This is also a hyphen. What does this hyphen after or hyphen before? هذا الhyphen before, it means there is a word before this, a word before this, a word before this, a word before this. Here, no, there is a word after. So هذا الhyphen for after. This is for before. يعني شلون مثلا إذا أخذ كلمة thankful, شوف thank وبعدين full. So full comes after full, after thank. Less, mind, لا ينتبه, less. So mind before less. Reddish, red, reddish. Famish, جاء جو. مثلا for example ness أقول مثلا for example kindness. لاحظ kind شو kind وبعدين NESS kindness. So هذه these UN and pre هذه نلفظها an. This is a pre. This is full. This is LESS. Less. This is ish. This is ness. Now these هذه bits, when they come before the word, that's why they come after. When they come after, we call them suffixes. When they come after, we call them suffixes. When they come before, we call them prefixes. لاحظ, they end in FIX. Also we have inside the word, infix. Infix means inside. So now affixes can be like this. Affixes are either prefixes, 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 those which come before. Those which come inside, we call them infix. And those which come after, like this, we call them suffixes. So now, prefixes before the word, infixes inside the word, incorporated inside. Suffixes, they added to the end of the word, suffixes. English, by the way, has only prefixes and suffixes. English doesn't have infixes. Arabic has these three, but English not. Arabic has prefixes. Arabic also has infixes. Arabic has also suffixes. English doesn't have infixes. It only has prefixes and suffixes. Like what? Like an, like pre. Suffixes like full, like LESS, less, as we have seen. We will take more examples. Now, what does he say here? Take, for example, the word unhappy. I have happy as a word, adjective. Then I have unhappy, I have made a new word, which is unhappy. So when you go to the dictionary, you find unhappy as you can find happy. So I have created this word by adding this, by means of this bit. What do we call this bit? We call it a prefix. Right. Joy. Then we have full. So already we have the word joy. Then we, by means of FUL, we have joyful, a new word. So now I have derived unhappy, by adding the prefix and to happy. So I have a new word, which is the opposite. Joy is a word. I added FUL, I have created a new word by what? By adding what? FUL to the word. So now joyful is a new word, unhappy is a new word. Already we have happy and what? Joy. But by means of, by the addition of what? UN, which is the opposite, and FUL to joy, we have joyful and we have what? Unhappy. Right. What does he say here? Here in the book he says the prefixes and suffixes. What does it? This is what I just said it. What I have just said, sorry. Let me read to you 3 or 4 lines from here. Looking more closely at the preceding group of words, we can see that some affixes, affixes, prefixes and suffixes, infixes and suffixes are added to the beginning of the word, like an, they add to the beginning of the word, beginning, unhappy. At the right, beginning of the word, example, unhappy, misrepresent, okay, mislead, يضلل, mislead, and are called, these are called prefixes. Other affixes are added what? To the end of the word. Like the word joy, joyful. And to the end of the word, example less, ISH, and are called suffixes. All English words formed by this derivational process have either prefixes or what? Suffixes. إذن هسه عندنا derivation they consider it as a process. هذا البروسيس what does it include? From the name, derivation اشتقاق. يعني we derive a new word by adding bits of language to the word. Now when you add these bits to the word, you are going to create a new word. Right. Thus mislead has a prefix. Sometimes you create a new word, the derivation process, not only having this or not only having this, sometimes both. Yani a word sometimes produced, yani we produce a new word by what? By using two bits, these yani as a prefix and a suffix to the word. Like what? For example, here he says, mislead has a prefix. Disrespectful, other word. Disrespectful. Now, what do we have here? What do we have here? This are the prefix. Ufol is suffix. Okay, we have respect, are the root or the stem. Now this word, disrespectful, غير محترم, is the result of adding these two bits to the beginning, we call it prefix, to the end, we call it what? Suffix. Already we have these are not together. For example, in the word thankful, like thankful, there is just full. In unhappy or mislead, we have just miss. Or dishonest also, dishonest. We have just this one. But in disrespectful, no, we have a prefix, and soon what? Suffix. And has if I how they respectful, okay, respectful, it has been derived from respect by adding ful. Now I'm going to I'm going to derive or create a new word. This new word is what? Disrespectful. And unrespectful, you have it as a new word, but then we are going to have another new word by adding this to the word respectful. What results from this is a new word. Now here we are creating new words by adding these bits, adding un, pre, full. These bits are either we add them to the beginning or we add them what? To the end. English doesn't have infixes, and it doesn't have bits like this, like an or pre or full in the middle of the word, inside the word. No, it doesn't have. How? Let's see. Let's take an example, yani, for a clarification. Let's take an example from Arabic. I have here example from Arabic. ناخذ for example كتب verb كتب زين هسه هذا past أقول يكتب هذا شنو؟ هذا bit هذا مورفيم بس هذا المورفيم هسه بعدين I'll talk about this later on. شو معنات المورفيم هذا؟ But let us يعني stick to this إنه هذه bits قطعة هسه ضفتين هاي قطعة اللي هو الياء. هنا here ممكن أضيف واو نون يصير يكتبون. Okay. Then هذا this has changed the verb from past into present. يكتب. This واو نون, when I add them, it has changed what? the word into what? Into what? Into it means they are plural, right? Then هذا الواو والنون indicates plurality. This indicates present time, present simple, and verb in present simple. And the point is, الآن يكتب is taken as is the result of شنو? Of ya, which has it's added to the beginning just like this. واو ونون is just like full, which we add them to the end of the word. Now what about inside the word? Do we have? Yes, we have. Like what? خذ كاف تاء باء كتا كتاب. شوف هذا الأليف، هذا الأليف، أليف هاي أليف or واو or ياء مثلا. كتاب افتحه، أو أضيف كاتب وكاف تاء باء كتب، أضيف هذا inside the word. هذا what do I call it? Infix. يعني قطعة، هذا القطعة الجزئية، هذا قطعة صغيرة، ها؟ هذا I added inside the word، في داخل الكلمة. Does it create a new word? نعم. كاتب is the result of adding هذا الانفكس a to the middle of the word. In the middle of the word, it gives me what? كاتب. English doesn't have like this. يعني مثلا هسه إذا أخذ مثلا على سبيل المثال قال وأقول قول، هذا الواو أنا قال، إذا I replace the أليف هذا إذا أقول قال هو من جذر الكلمة the root، لا أنا راح I'm going to say قول. لاحظ قول إضافة واو in the middle. Okay, يعني I changed the أليف، I replaced the أليف by واو. هذا what do we call؟ هاي نسميها infix. Now قال وقول، قال فعل verb بينما هذا noun. So إذا القول here is the result of adding واو to the middle of the word قال. Okay, right. نأكل بها something، يعني يقول. شوف من قلت قول noun اسم، when you say يقول لا it has become what? A verb. So see now these things in Arabic they can change يعني الword class. They change the word class, but when we add them here they do not change the word class. يعني كتب، بنقول كتب يكتب، ما غيرت الword class، أنا غيرت بس what يعني tense، الزمن from past into present. also here هو verb، بس هذا verb plural، يعني it means that this verb indicates plurality. How do I know it from واو نون؟ but من أقول هم يعني ألف ونون هذا المثنى. but شوف لاحظ كلمة قال يقول، قال قول، شوف هنا الواو has changed the word class، غيرت الword class. شوف inside change the word class. نقول غنم فعل، غانم صارت اسم. هذا الأليف اللي هو البت اللي يعتبر infix، it changed the word class from غنم إلى غانم. هذا الword is the result of adding what? أليف inside the word. English doesn't have such bits which are added into the middle of the word. No. So, but in order to, sometimes what do? They add a full word. هذا الفول here, full word here, مو not a bits, يعني مو affix. لا, it's not an affix. No, it is a full word. But is it considered as an affix? Of course not. Of course not. Let's see what he says about infixes. Well, there is a third type of affix, not normally used in English, but found in some other languages like Arabic, for example. This is called an infix. As the term suggests, it is an affix. An infix, it is an affix that is incorporated, يعني يدخل, incorporated, يقحم, يدخل, inside another word. مثل ما هنا عندنا كلمة غنم أقحمنا بها الألف صارت غانم. It is possible to see the general principle at work in certain expressions occasionally used in fortuitous or fortuitous or aggravating circumstances. يعني بعض الأحيان sometimes في ظروف متفاقمة يعني بها تفاقم الوضع يعني it's getting worse by emotionally aroused English speakers يعني واحد تثار مشاعره. So what does he say? مثلا هذه take for example هذه ABSO, okay, أبسو right, أبسو God man, بعدين LUTELY. شوف هاي كلمة absolutely تماما. But what did they add? They added God man. هذه التعبير they use it in order to express fortuitous يعني something is aggravating, something is getting worse. يعني related to sometimes people are emotionally aroused, تثار مشاعره. So he uses these, he does not say absolutely, he say absolutely. Okay. Here I can, in the exercise here, we have also on page 59 we have a very nice example. Here we have an exercise that's really really what? Instead of saying fantastic, شوف لك here, fantastic. What does he do? Fan, damn, فهاي دامن هذه infix. بس شنو as a word هنا هو السؤال يقول as a word مو they do not have يعني in English there are no infixes but it's a word. هذه damn is a word. ولذلك what does he say? يقول can you identify the different word formation processes involved in producing each of the underlined words? هذه كلمة fundamentistic. What is how is this word produced؟ يقول هذا الword هي fantastic. That's fundamentistic, having a new word, is the result of infix derivation, and derivation by means of what? Infix. Then then the word derivation, or the process derivation, عملية الاشتقاق derivation, you can derive a word either by adding a prefix to the word, مثل ما عندنا كلمة happy, unhappy, or we have yes, happy, unhappy, or we can create a new word by adding something to the end of the word, like for example kind, kindness. Sometimes we create a new word by adding what? An infix, something inside, as we have here كتب كاتب. In English, they don't have alif or wow or these bits that are used in inside the word like prefixes or suffixes. No, what do? They add a full word. مثل هسه هذه كلمة absolutely, it has been interrupted. The word God man, as he says here, yes, jamin, sorry. Yeah, jamin has been incorporated inside. يعني it has أقحمت between fan و tastic. They added dam, fundamentastic. And then as the fundamentastic is the result of which process? The process of what? Derivation by adding the infix what? German inside the word. This is what we mean by what? By the derivation. Now, this process, the process which is called derivation, which is the result of adding either suffixes, prefixes, suffixes, and infixes, this is related to a new topic. عنوان جديد. This new topic, which is called morphology. It is called what? Morphology. This chapter, هذا chapter, and in chapter 5 or chapter 6, they are related. Why are they related? They are related because they deal with the word in isolation. They deal with the word in isolation. They do not deal with the word within a sentence. لا, here, that is syntax. That's a different topic. ذاك عنوان آخر. But here we are dealing with the word in isolation. Morphology. What is the meaning of morphology? We find the definition of morphology, which is the title of chapter 6. You see, perhaps, I think there is a relationship here. Right here, it scissors. What is the meaning of morphology? Well, this term, which literally means the study of forms. The study of forms. What is the meaning of the study of form? The study of forms means دراسة الشكل. Which form? أي شكل? The study of form of شنو? Of words. Of words. يعني هسه مثلا أنا عندي هذا disrespectful. When I look at it ننظر إلها أقول هذه this word is an adjective. How do I know it is an adjective? From full. Because full, when you find it at the end of a word, it means that word, the word class means that word is an adjective. مثلا عندي beautiful, عندي thankful. We have, for example, thankful. wonderful, beautiful, okay, adjective. Now this, when I see it, when I see it at the beginning of the word, I understand that this word is opposite. How do I know? يعني it means it has a negative sense. How do I know? أو negative يعني مو عنده respectful محترم, disrespectful غير محترم. How do I know from this? But then I look at the form. I see the word, I look at it, and then by looking at it, at the word, the structure of the word, I can understand this word. That this word is an adjective, this word has a negative sense, like this. Because each one, because these has, later on I'll talk about these. My focus is on the word morphology, which is the study of forms of words. Okay? So morphology, morph. What is the meaning of morph? I said here in the glossary, here, let us see what does he says. Or morph, and we have morpheme. M-O-R-P-H-E-M, morpheme. Then, morpheme. What does he say here about morpheme? Morpheme, he says, morpheme is the, here morphology, he says the analysis, the study or analysis. تحليل, the analysis, the study, دراسة, تحليل of the word. The analysis of the structure of words. تحليل بناء الكلمة. تركيب الكلمة يحللها. هذا شنو? What is it? Morphology. In Arabic we call it صرف. We call it صرف بالعربي. Now let's see what is the meaning of morpheme. لاحظ here, morpheme is defined as minimal شنو? Minimal unit. A minimal unit of meaning or grammatical function. What does that mean? Then, because we are talking, in order to clarify, I clarify the word morpheme, I compare it. بالمقارنة, when you compare something, sometimes you can understand something, you compare it with other thing. يعني هسه مثلا مثلا تقارن, you compare between day and night, الليل والنهار. تقول هذا day إنه the sun is rising. When night, you compare it with it, there is no sun. So a comparison between them. Dead and alive. مثلا, you compare. You compare between languages. تقارن بين اللغات. Okay? زين. الآن morpheme, perhaps هسه الآن morpheme تعريفه a minimal unit of meaning or grammatical function. Says, what does this mean? هسه أجي إلى minimal unit of meaning or grammar. طبعا minimal معناتها it means it cannot be divided. It is no longer divisible. It is no longer divisible. يعني you cannot divide it any further. But if you divide it, you are going to destroy the meaning. يعني how? إلى أن take for example أقول honest مثلا for example honest صادق. If I add هذا prefix infix it's affix which is called dis. If I add it to the word dis, if I add dis to honest, it's going to give me a opposite meaning. معنى يختلف. يعني تضاد. dishonest معناتها كاذب غير صادق. honest صادق. شوف هذا إذن change the meaning. هو يقول هنا minimal unit يعني وحدة. احنا عندنا مثلا أول مرة عندنا الفونيم بعدين المورفيم بعدين الوورد بعدين الفريز وبعدين السنتنس واتسترا. هذا كل واحد each one we call it a unit. Now morpheme يقول هو a minimal unit of meaning مثل هذا meaning. It has a meaning or a grammatical function. إذا هسه المورفيم has either a meaning lexical meaning يعني مثل like الadjective والpronoun أو nouns والverbs meaning content مثل content words or grammatical function. grammatical شنو؟ grammatical function. شنو what does it mean grammatical functions؟ يعني وظيفة خلينا نقول قواعدية. شلون؟ احنا لما ما بالعربي لما ما احنا مثلا قلنا كتب قلنا يكتب خلي I write it here. لو قلنا كتب قلنا يكتب. هذه الياء بها grammatical function. شنو grammatical function؟ إنه is changed غيرت غيرت التنس from verb يعني past verb إلى present verb. مثل like what؟ إحنا طبعا in English عندنا present هو الروت الجذر الأساس هو present بس بالإنجليزي لا بالعربي we have the past. إنه past هو the يعني the root the infinite يعني احنا we take the noun from the verb. okay يعني الأصل هو verb. which verb بالعربي the past نعتبره إنه the first what يعني generation of or other words which are generated or made from this هو from the past tense. بالإنجليزي لا it is the opposite. لا عندنا the present هو the source الأصل. بالعربي عندنا الأصل the source هو the past tense بس in English لا present. يعني الآن هسه كتب إذا أريد أن أترجمها بالعربي يقول wrote كتب. بس إذا يكتب لما ما أضيف لها يكتب write. هذه يكتب. أوكي إذا هسه كتب wrote يكتب write. إحنا بالإنجليزي عندنا write before wrote but in English بالعربي عفوا عندنا الكتب before يكتب. يعني هذا this is a very important point. I repeat this. بالإنجليزي in English عندنا write before wrote. يعني الروت هو الwrite هو الsource الأصل والwrote is the past. we change the vowel. sometimes we add ed. so I am coming to this. بالعربي لا بالعربي عندنا كتب هو السورس ويكتب what is the derived form. يعني we derive يكتب من كتب. بالإنجليزي لا, we derive the past from شنو؟ from write. فلاحظوا, شوف يكتب بالعربي مشتق from, derived from كتب. بالإنجليزي لا, هو الأصل. كتب اللي هو الأصل, the source in English, it is what? It is derived from it. يعني we طبعا here because it is irregular, لأنه it was مثلا هسه خلينا نقول مثلا فعل add احنا نقول added. شوف we add. هذا بالنسبة إلى past sorry English. الآن المينينج, يعني الآن البريفكسز مثل هذه كلمة dishonest, هذه dis has a meaning, بها معنى. What is the meaning? meaning هو opposite. بس sometimes هذا المورفيم مو it doesn't have a meaning, ما بي meaning, بس بي grammatical function. شنو grammatical function؟ يعني here مثل ما كتب, when we add الياء to كتب it becomes يكتب. هنا بها grammatical function, بها وظيفة قواعدية, إنه it change the verb from past into present. زين, بعد like this مثلا مو عندنا احنا كلمة يكتب وظيفا واو ونون, يكتبون, هذه change the singular into plural. هذه همين grammatical functions. but لكن لما أقول كاتب, هذه حولت لي الوورد من اسم كاتب, من اسم حولتها من اسم إلى فعل, من فعل إلى اسم. زين, هنا غيرت هنا ولو يعني هنا يبيها شنو نقول, يعني هل نقول إنه هذه إنه هنا الكاف كاتب مثل يكتبون, يعني هي صحيح غيرت الفعل إلى اسم, بس هل غيرت؟ طبعا أكو تغيير بالمعنى هنا. لما بقول هنا يكتبون هو فعل خلاص, بس هنا صارت اسم, يعني غيرت هذه هنا changed. فمثل ما اكو عندي هنا تغيير بالدس والأونست, هنا هم صار عندي تغيير, يعني from verb to noun. وكاتب اكو تختلف, يعني كاتب شخص, يكتب كاتب شخص, بينما يكتب هو البروسيس, العملية. زين, الانجليش شلون؟ بالانجليزي شلون؟ let us see. اقول مثلا boy وأضيف اس, هذه كلمة boys. boy noun, وS also noun, بس الاس هاي it has a grammatical function. شنو grammatical function؟ plurality. فإذا الجمع grammatical function. بعد الباست مثلا كلمة played, هذا هنا الإيدي, هذا suffix, it has a grammatical function. إذا the point شنو النكتة هنا, because I am going to stop. The point is إنه المورفيم has either a meaning إلى معنى or a grammatical function. It is unlike, هو عكس الفونيم, الصوت. خلينا أقول يعني تمثيل يعني التمثيل المجرد أو الشيء المجرد. الفونيم هو شيء مجرد inside the mind. representation مالته شنو؟ الساوند, الصوت. يعني هسه إذا آخذ أنا مثلا كلمة speak, say, pay, he, كي, هذه. هسه هذا السي والبي والإي والكي, each one of these has no meaning, ما إله معنى. هذا مو مثل not like morpheme. morpheme شوف هذا إله معنى. what is the plurality? what is this? This is past. بينما الفونيم هذا مثلا this سي وبي وإي وكي, each one of these they don't have a meaning, but when they put together, yeah, they give a meaning. إذا إذا هسه the difference between الفونيم اللي هو هذا س ب إي ك فونيم هذا it has no meaning. Sound by itself يعني individually it has no meaning. But the morpheme it has a meaning. It has either a meaning just like any content word or a grammatical function. شنو grammatical function؟ مثل ما أخذنا بالعربي. يا يكتب سووا change from past into يكتب present ويكتبون change the verb يعني it tells me that the subject is plural. If I deleted subject is singular. زين right. What else؟ إذا هذه البيتس هي هذه المورفيمز. الآن in Arabic أكو عندي two things that are very interesting with which I stop. Then I'll continue next time because there's going to be another video. Just 1 minute, I'll tell you. Okay. ناخذ هذه الفعل من القرآن الكريم فسيكفيكهم الله فسيكفيكهم الله كلها واحدة one word بس بيها what does it شنو بيها هذا بيها سوف وهنا جزئها هنا نقول سوف يكفيك الله إياهم. شوف يعني شوف سوف واحد يكفيك two Allah three إياهم four words they have one word. زين هنا شنو وين الجذر هنا الجذر هذا شوف الفاء والسين والياء هذه بيتس مورفيمز هو الجذر هذا كفى زين بعدين عندنا سيكفي كاف هذا كاف اوكي هذه كاف وهذه هم يعني عندي تو وات عندي تو وات اوبجكت هنا الكاف والهاء والميم يعني شوف هذه كلمة واحدة يعني احنا ممكن نجزئها إلى نقول الفاء وسوف عفوا السين فاء والسين والياء وكفى جزها كاف فاء هاي كفى سيكفي الياء همينة وكاف هم كفى هاي كفى يصير يكفيك الكاف هنا الهاء هاي تتحول إلى ياء كفى هاي الكاف والفاء هاي تصير ياء يو right لاحظ هاي كل واحد each one of these has a grammatical function بها وظيفة هاي السين تفيد شو اسمه تفيد المستقبلية الياء تفيد present هذا الأصل. كاف هاي الخطاب. هم على العائد على الضمير هاي هم. زين أنا الآن إذا أريد when I want to translate هذه إذا أسوي لها translation شوف هذه كلمة سيكفيكم الله إذا أريد أترجمها بالعربي شوف كم كلمة God will suffice the هذه كاف المخاطب أنت the against them. Sorry. Sure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 words. In the Holy Quran, 1 word. إذن هسه شنو what is the point? The point هو بالmorphology. What does he want to say? It will sometimes when you look at a word and you think that this word has يعني it cannot be it cannot be divided. ما ممكن تجزئتها. ما ممكن we cannot divide it. But this is not correct. Not correct. No, you can sometimes you can segment or segmentize or segment this word into bits. Each bit has either a grammatical function or a meaning. Now, chapter 6 deals with these bits. هذا يعني المورفيمز البits هذه. I'll add more to this, but not this. But let me finish with this point, which is very interesting point. شنو هذا البوينت؟ شوف لاحظ هذا عندي an example, very nice example. إنه فسيكفيكهم الله. طبعا أنا ما ضفت عفوا الله. إنه هنا موجودة كلمة الله. لأنه هي فسيكفيكهم هي منها تبدي. بس فسيكفيكهم الله هي بالقرآن بالآية 137 137 من سورة البقرة فسيكفيكهم الله. زين أكو إذن هذه long word كم حرف 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 9 أحرف. Each one of this هذه الحروف يعني we think that we cannot divide this word بس لا it is divided. شوف شلون بدل ما يقول سوف يكفيك الله إياهم أو سوف يكفيك إياهم. طبعا الله هنا لازم separate. زين يعني إذا هسه هنا هذه one word I translate it هنا two words عفوا أو خلينا أقول one word I translate it into will suffice the against them 1 2 3 4 5 words. يعني 5 words in English, 1 word in Arabic. There is an opposite of this. يعني عندي 1 word in English وعندي what 3 or 4 or 5 6 words in Arabic. شلون هاي؟ أكو عندي شوف هاي الكلمة طويلة بالإنجليزية anti establishmentarianism. Disestablishmentarianism. هذه one word. طبعا هذه اكو يعني كلمة طويلة هذه اعتقد 28 حرف يمكن 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15 16 17 18 19 20 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 28 letters. One word. طبعا there are other words but 14 words in English. هذه this is هذه شنو how do you translate this into Arabic شوف مثل like when we translated فسيكفيكم اللي will suffice the against them هنا شنو تترجم الحركة الآرية المضادة لفصل الكنيسة عن الدولة. Disestablishmentarianism. وين الجذر؟ الجذر هو establish يعني وهي كلها bits كلها morphemes. هذا همينها morphemes بس هذا stem. بس هذه all of these are هذه suffixes مثلا من ناحية establish شوف من establish هذا من هذا الجذر بعدين meant وتاريان وانزم وانتي وديس هذه prefixes. إذا شوف لاحظ عندي هذا prefix وهذا prefix هذا establish هذا stem يسمى هذا what suffix وهذا همينه suffix وهذا what suffix. Then how many the 2 prefixes or 3 suffixes and this stem and establish. One word 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 words in Arabic, 1 word in English. 1 word in Arabic, 1 2 3 4 5 words in English. So here we are talking about the structure of the word. Now we are dealing with the structure of the word. We are not dealing with how the function of this word, context, the structure within a sentence. No, we are talking about words in isolation. I stop here. There is another, the last video, in which I am going to continue talking about morphology. We are going to talk about bound morpheme, free morpheme. بعدين هذا free morpheme, they can be lexical morpheme, functional morpheme. Then we move to high bound morpheme. We divide them into inflectional, derivational. And then we talk about morph and allomorph, like phones and allophones, these things, and then that's going to be the last thing. Thank you very much, and sorry for this lengthy lecture. I hope I have clarified things, and of course when we meet on Wednesday, we are going to discuss these things more. It depends. Thank you very much. See you next time.